Today I'm drawing hermits in other video games. Now, this is purely based off of vibes, not any sort of scientific, oh, I believe this hermit would be really enjoying this game. It's just purely based off of their persona or what I feel like. And I'm sure you can guess what game this first drawing is based off of with the cookie and the obscene amount of clicks. I decided Grian would really enjoy Cookie Clicker based on his immense amount of button pressing that has occurred on Hermitcraft and various other Minecraft series and what have you. He just really likes his buttons, and if there's a giant cookie that is a button, I feel like he would enjoy it. Even though now that I think about it, he's also a pesky bird, and the birds, or at least the parrots in Minecraft, don't enjoy cookies very much, so that might not be the best, but for everything else, I feel like this might be a good fit for Grian. So I just did some very basic shading here. Please ignore Grian's torso phasing out of his own body. Yeah, that's perfectly normal, trust me. And just did a lot of basic shading with everything else. Just did a lot of highlights and things. I didn't actually play Cookie Clicker myself, so I didn't do any like special shading or anything based off of Cookie Clicker, because as far as I know, it's just a cookie and you press it, and that's it. So I've never actually played this game. The other two games in this video I have played, but I'm sure y'all can let me know in the comments how good this game is if you've played it yourself. So basic highlights and things, highlighted his eyes. I tried to do airbrush for the cookie to try to do some shading and a gradient in the background. And that was about it for this one. This one was pretty basic as far as my drawing skills were concerned. And this one we are switching to vertical because Mumbo Jumbo was very tall for this drawing. And if you can recognize this outfit, you could probably recognize which season we're basing this one off. I am doing season 8 Mumbo with Stardew Valley because what speaks peace, love, and plants more than Stardew Valley? Or you can just, farm and stuff. It's really nice. You could grow potatoes. You can grow carrots. You can grow the basic Stardew Valley Minecraft crops, right? But you can also kill things. So, I think it matches the peace, love, and plants vibe very much. So I decided to change my line art colors. I also tried to change my shading up a little bit with this one. I was thinking about doing full on pixel art, but I also don't know how to do pixel art. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to try that today. We're get out of our comfort zone a little bit, right? But we're not going to go that far. You know what I mean? I should probably also explain what Stardew Valley is for those of you that haven't played. I realized I've just sort of skirted around the topic while not actually explaining anything. Stardew Valley is a farming sim where your grandfather has left you his farm in his will, and he's basically told you if you ever feel like work sucks, you can go over there. So you befriend all of the people in the town, you create the best farm in Pelican Town, which isn't saying a whole lot because there's not really any other farms in Pelican Town, but you know what? You're doing your best and you enjoy it. And you can also fish and forage and mine and kill things in the mine. They're all like skeletons and bats and stuff. I've definitely fallen prey to some mobs a couple times. But it's a really fun game, really fun farming sim. But also it's all pixel art and like I said earlier, and I did not want to try that. So, if I ever feel the courage, I may retry this one in pixel art, but not today. Not today. And there's also the thing with this one that I also did not want to, like, well, I probably shouldn't mention it. Ibis Paint X added a watermark and for their, like, little MP4s, little time lapses, and it's kind of annoying because it's like I'm trying to just submit a time lapse. And they didn't have this before. You could check some of my older videos. Like they did not have this like watermark before on some of their other stuff. But for some reason now they've added it and it's a little bit frustrating cuz it's like if I ever want to like export this anywhere, I now need to show this like Ibis Paint watermark. So it's not that big either. So it's not too bad. It's just like for having this for free, they used to have this. So it's like now it's like they're changing what they had previously to something that is now not free, and I have to pay premium just to not have a watermark on my screen. I don't know, kind of frustrating. But now we're moving on to the shading, and you can see, because I cannot draw a Hawaiian shirt. I do not want to draw a Hawaiian shirt from scratch on my own. So I just went to the Ibis Paint library and was like, what's the free black and white pattern that you got that looks like a Hawaiian shirt and is close enough? And I chose that. So also made the hoe actually look like it's made out of wood. So that way Mumbo isn't just carrying around this ambiguously beige tool. And also because I looked at Stardew Valley, I looked at some pictures and like references of Stardew Valley art. Not pixel art. Mumbo isn't pixel art, but at least like Sebastian, the character, like he has black hair, and I'm pretty sure his hair was like highlighted with purple. So I'm like, might as well make it purple. Also, because Mumbo had the end crystals that season, so it also makes sense, like thematically speaking, to have him be highlighted in purple for his eyes and his hair. And also just did shading for his legs and his shorts and little flip-flops. And here you can see I'm trying to make it pixelated-ish. The little Stardew Valley farm that you get at the beginning of the game. Don't ask why I decided to make a whole bunch of blocks for something that I could have just used straight line tool for. It's fine. But you know what? It's close enough. It's gonna be blurred out anyway. There you go. The main focus is Mumbo, so it doesn't matter too much anyway. So now that we have Mumbo done and out of the way, now we have Doc M77 with Pokemon, and this time lapse was kind of annoying because it decided to focus on the sketch for like 2 minutes and then fast forward through the rest of the time lapse in like 20 seconds. So, I had to cut that down in post, but it's fine. We got this. So I decided to give him Pokemon because of the Ender Dragon and the chickens that the Buttercups decided to throw in the perimeter. I didn't throw in the Ender Dragon. That was Doc deciding, why don't I just put the Ender Dragon in the overworld and have it circle the perimeter, like the absolute goat that he is. The chickens, imagine Ash Ketchum, right? With his 30 Tauros that he just happens to have. Now imagine that, but multiplied by like 1,000, and you have Doc's many chickens that the Buttercups decided to give him as a prank. So I decided that that would be a perfect thing to go with Pokemon, right? Because he's just like, I gotta catch every legendary, every mob that there is, even though he didn't ask for the chickens, but some slight rearranging can happen. Now, the main problem here was which generation do I exactly use as my inspiration here? Because each generation has its own different art style, right, for Pokemon. So I just decided to go with Scarlet Violet and that sort of style, like more the later generations rather than the earlier ones. And looking back on it, it probably makes it like thematically easier because like we had season 8 before, we had Grian, who's sort of just like every season, and then there's just Doc with the later season of just the Ender Dragon and the chicken. I also decided to give Doc Ash Ketchum's hat because we already made the connection with the Tauros, right? Like Doc with his thousands of chickens, Ash Ketchum with his 30 Tauros, like it's already a thing. So might as well just fully commit to the bit, you know what I mean? But with Doc's speed paint finished up, that wraps up today's video. Let me know in the comments down below if there are any other video games that match the vibes of the Hermits and what typings you think the Minecraft chicken and Ender Dragon would be. I personally think it would be normal flying and Dragon Dark, but let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I hope you all have a magnificent day and I will see you all later.